Hey there, everybody. It's time for your week 8 YouTube activity. Yeah, but first, a few dad jokes. These are, again, money related dad jokes. A duck went shopping, and when he got up to the cashier said, "Cash or check?" And the duck said, "Neither, just put it on my bill." Bill. How about this one? A persistent banker wouldn't stop hitting on me, so I asked her to leave me alone. Here's the final one. Hey, a couple weeks ago, I asked you how you can double your money, and I said fold it in half. That was one of the jokes. Here is a follow-up. How else can you double your money? You can look at it in a mirror. This week, we're talking about Richie Sambora. He was in the band Bon Jovi, and that's him right there. Here's John Bon Jovi, the guy the band was named after. And we're talking about a guitar player named Orianthi, a female guitar player who is most famous for being in the band for Michael Jackson just before he died. Here's a picture of Richie Sambora, born in 1959, and he's still alive, thankfully. So he is 61 years old. He's the guy on the left, the far left there. The guy kind of in the middle is John Bon Jovi. He is the lead singer and the leader of the band called Bon Jovi. And Richie Sambora is most famous for being in that band, Bon Jovi. He's not in that band anymore. They kind of had a falling out. Richie kind of said that Bon Jovi, the band, often just works too hard. They go on tours that last a year and a half, and it gets old, and he misses his family and so forth. Anyway, those two are very famous together. Here is the other guitar player we're looking at today. This is Orianthi. Orianthi is actually her first name. That's what she calls herself. Her full name is something like Orianthi Panagaris, something like that. She is from Australia, the country and continent Australia, way over on the other side of the world. She was born in 1985, and she is still alive also. And she is most famous for being in the band for Michael Jackson. That's him over on the upper left. Orianthi is right above me. Michael Jackson is not alive anymore, but he was a really big deal, a very famous singer. And just before he died, he hired Orianthi to be in his band for his final tour. That tour never actually happened, unfortunately. By the way, she is playing a PRS electric guitar in this picture. When she plays electric guitar, she likes to play PRS. That stands for Paul Reed Smith. He's the guy that owns the company. And here's a picture of Richie and Orianthi together. They dated each other from 2014 to 2018, even though they're pretty far apart in age. I guess they're 26 years apart in age, something like that. And in this picture, Richie is playing a double neck Ovation guitar. The brand is called Ovation. So the neck that he's actually playing right now, that is a 6-string guitar neck, and on the bottom is a 12-string guitar neck. There are guitars that have double the strings, so it's like you have 2-string 6s and 2-string 5s and 2-string 4s, and it kind of sounds like you're playing 2 guitars. So anyway, the reason for a double neck guitar like that is that you can switch between them for different parts of a song. In this picture, Orianthi is playing a Taylor guitar. That's my favorite brand. I love Taylor guitars. In the video you're going to watch later, they are both playing Gibson guitars, another one of my favorite brands. I love Gibsons too. Here are some things I want you to know about them. First of all, I should mention, when we look at these slides on your assignments, your YouTube activity assignments, it says YouTube Tuesday up at the top. That's because when it's not a pandemic in our country and in our school, I do these activities in school on Tuesdays. So I saved all these slides from previous years, and I want to be able to use them, next year and the year after, hopefully when we have regular school, and I don't want to have to change the title. So anyway, I hope you're not confused by that. All right, so Orianthi and Richie Sambora, in addition to dating each other, formed kind of a little band and had a tour together, and they called themselves RSO for Richie, Sambora, Orianthi. Um, but I should tell you that the most famous songs for both of them are the ones listed right there. Living on a Prayer, which is a song that Richie played with the band Bon Jovi. And Orianthi, her most famous song as a solo artist is called According to You. You should look that up. It's a really cool song. That was about 5 years ago. Okay, so they're notable for both being really good players. They're among the best guitar players alive today. They're both fantastic at what they do. And as I mentioned, they dated each other for a while. I also already mentioned that Orianthi is probably most famous for time with Michael Jackson, but also the famous rock and roll singer Alice Cooper. She was also in not Miranda Lambert. What's that other country person? Carrie Underwood. She was in Carrie Underwood's band for a while, so she can play country too. And also, as I already mentioned, Richie is most famous for his time with the band called Bon Jovi. Some things we can learn from them. First of all, Richie has had some problems with alcoholism and drug addiction. Like a lot of famous people, he got addicted to painkillers from like an injury. That seems to happen a lot. You know, doctors will prescribe painkillers for people and then they take them and then it ends up working so well that sometimes famous people will buy extra painkillers and take them even when the doctor says they should be done with them. Anyway, he's had some problems with stuff like that, but apparently he's doing okay now. Both of them are very charitable. Richie gives a lot of money and does some work for cancer charities, and Orianthi has done some work for charities to help little kids get into music. So that's cool. Number two, in this video, sometimes they're playing power chords, which is the kind of chord that I've taught you, which is only 2 or 3 strings. But then they also sometimes play full chords of 4, 5, or 6 strings, and it kind of gives their music a variety, which I really think is cool. The power chords are a little quieter and the full chords are a little louder, and that gives the music some variety and some dynamics. Dynamics is the difference between loud and soft. Number 3, they spent some time in this video improvising, which is like what you might call freestyling for a rapper. Rappers like to freestyle, which means they kind of make their raps on the spot. When you play a musical instrument and just make up stuff on the spot, that's called improvising. It's kind of the same thing. So you'll see a lot of that in this video. You'll also see a lot of anchoring and bends and scales and vibrato. Anchoring is when your pinky touches the guitar when you're picking or even finger picking. Bends is when you bend the string to make it the pitch change a little bit. Scales are when you go do 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 do, that kind of thing, to add some interest to your song or to your improvising. And finally, I think it's interesting in number 5 there that they're doing a famous song, the Living on a Prayer song that Bon Jovi made famous, but they change it a little bit. And the biggest change they make is that when they get to the chorus, the really loud part of the original song, they actually do it quieter than normal and lower than normal. They don't sing super high like John Bon Jovi sang in the original song. So that's called interpretation. They're deciding to do it in a different way, and I think that's pretty interesting. Here are your questions for this week. Number 1, please answer why do you like or dislike this performance, and please be specific. I should mention that it seems like some of you might not be watching the whole video because some of your answers don't seem to know some things that I taught in the video. So make sure you're watching this whole thing and make sure you are specific. Don't give me a short answer to number 1. I really want to know what you're thinking. Number 2, I am asking you, what are you not looking forward to in life? Because last week I asked you what you are looking forward to. If there are some things you're kind of dreading in your life, I would like to hear about that. That would be great. And as always, please answer number 3 so I can understand you better. Let's talk a little bit about what these guys are playing. First of all, they like to play Gibson guitars, as I mentioned earlier. This is my Gibson J100 Extra guitar. J means jumbo, it means big. 100 just means that it's not as fancy as a 200 or whatever. Extra just means I think that it's a little extra big. A neat thing about jumbo guitars is they usually have a bridge that's shaped like a mustache. Kind of looks like a mustache on a face. Okay. Orianthi in this video is playing a jumbo guitar kind of like this. It's a Gibson, but it looks a little bit different than this one, but it does have a mustache bridge, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So a few things that you will see. You will see that they do a lot of anchoring with their right hand when they're picking stuff. They like to keep that pinky there to feel a little bit more secure. Some of you like to do that, and that's fine. They do a lot of bends. That's when you take a string and do this kind of thing to make it kind of wavy, to make the sound bend up in pitch. That kind of thing. You'll also see them and hear them playing scales, playing parts of scales to improvise, to do that freestyling. So one scale I think I hear them doing is this one, E minor pentatonic scale. So this is fret 7, finger 1, and that would be fret 10, finger 4. You go like this, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, like this. And then backwards would be. And you can freestyle on that. You can improvise. You can just make stuff up like. There's some of that in this video too. And the final thing I wanted to talk to you about is kind of a variation of bending. It's called vibrato, V-I-B-R-A-T-O. I can bend back and forth really quickly like this. To make a really wavy sound, instead of just bending it up and leaving it there, like that, I can make it sound like it's vibrating. That's called vibrato. All right. So the song you're going to see Orianthi and Richie playing and hear them singing is called Living on a Prayer. It is a cover of a Bon Jovi song, as I discussed just a minute ago. And I didn't tell you what it's about though. It is about a young couple, Tommy and Gina, and how they're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to earn enough money to pay their bills and make it in America, and how sometimes that's kind of hard. It's a song about real life. So I hope you enjoy it. Please now go down to the next item in Schoology and watch the video of Living on a Prayer by Richie and Orianthi.